Hello, beautiful. Welcome to day 2 of the Emergency Folder Challenge. I'm Susanna Kay, professional organizer and leader of this challenge. I'm glad that you're here today. Oh, let me actually adjust this so I can see you a little bit better. There you are. Welcome, welcome. As you hop on, let me know who you are, where you're joining me from. Like I mentioned, this is day 2 of the Emergency Folder Challenge. That's this folder right here. It's the free challenge, and we are building this week. So if you're following along in the Facebook group or on email, let me know. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Also tell me in the comments if you have any trouble hearing me. We have lawn people who just managed to show up right now. So I've got all the dogs in here, but I'm using my little AirPods for the first time, hoping that if the dogs start to bark that you won't be able to hear them too much. We'll see how this goes. Good morning, everybody in the Facebook group from Pennsylvania. Feel free, whenever you do a comment, also include your name when you can, just because from the Facebook group, it does not always tell me who you are. There's like a whole thing that you have to do in order to authorize me to see your name, but it's a lot easier if you just type your name. I don't want you to have to jump through hoops. All right, so if you've not already registered for the free emergency folder challenge, hop over and do it now. It should, I believe the link is also in the description of this video, but if not, it's also on screen. Feel free, pause this video if you need to write it down. Don't have something that's easily clickable, or rewind this video afterwards, whichever works for you. But basically this week, we are building a quick grab emergency medical and evacuation folder. Yay, you can hear me. So this folder is perfect for grabbing and going if you have a medical emergency, if you have to go to the doctor's office, if you have a quick evacuation. This is that really fast grab and go for you, and also for first responders if you're not able to communicate, or for loved ones if they need to make sure to manage your care. All the important medical and quick emergency information is in this one folder. So that's what we're building this week. Hey, Rita and Sheila and Lana, good to see you all. Welcome, welcome. All right, so today's task, if you registered and signed up for the emails, then you already got this in the email. You got a brief version of this in the Facebook group. The email has a whole lot more support in it. But today's task was simply to download the worksheets. So my surprise this week, my little bonus for you, is the free worksheets to put into your emergency folder to make it so much easier. So until this Sunday, which I think is September 19th, 2021, if you're watching on the replay, until this Sunday, you can grab the worksheet download at the link on your screen. I believe it is probably also in the description. Grab this download, because what it is it's a PDF, a fillable PDF, and it walks you through all the important information that you're going to want to put into this folder. So let me see. I just printed out a couple extra pages last night. So today on this live, I wanted to talk through some of the information that's on the sheet. Tomorrow, the task tomorrow is to fill it in. We don't have a live video tomorrow, so tomorrow I'm just going to post a video in the group. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to use this worksheet with the fillable PDF. And I'm also going to explain why there's not some certain information on this worksheet and how to keep it safe, and the choices there. So I'm glad that you enjoy it, Lana. Hey, Janae. You're so welcome for the fill-in sheets. I love fillable PDFs. It just makes life a lot easier. Good morning, Linda. Good to see you. All right, so let me take this down from the screen so you can see it better. So as I mentioned today, I wanted to talk about using these fillable worksheets that you can download and the concept behind it, really, because I love not only telling you organizing tips, but I love the why behind all of the things that I do. And that's something that I'm trying to share more often. I forget that not everybody knows the why behind it. So I created the Spark Life Binder. This emergency folder is one part of the full Spark Life Binder, and that is a system of fillable PDF worksheets that you can put into a binder for absolutely all of your most important information, and helps you with your important papers, keeps it all in one place. So the Spark Life Binder is full of all of these amazing worksheets. And I wanted to share the emergency folder section of that Spark Life Binder with you during this challenge. So this is what these worksheet downloads look like. If you are watching this as a replay after the worksheets are available, I'm going to talk about what information's on it as well. So if you needed to build your own, then you would be able to. Within the folder, we talked yesterday, if you did not already grab your supplies, we talked about the supplies yesterday, go ahead, watch that replay if you need to. But within this quick grab folder, we are putting these worksheets, we are separating them out, one set of worksheets per person, we're putting a divider, we're adding a pocket folder to easily include prescription information and additional information, but it's going to end up looking like this with these worksheets. So these worksheets, you'll see on these worksheets the first page. I purposely put the first page with the life-threatening information. So if you don't have any life-threatening allergies or conditions, you can probably just skip putting this page in altogether. But if you do have any allergies or conditions that first responders and medical personnel would need to know immediately, this is the page to put it on, so that the first thing that you see when you open up this folder, that first page needs to be anything that is absolutely life-threatening. So if you have an allergy to specific medication that gives you more than just hives, then that would go right here. So that's on your first page. You're just going to list conditions or allergies that are life-threatening on that first page. Now, within each person's tabs, you will find your name and address information, because in the hospital, they will need to know your name, information, phone number, those types of things. Also, you can list out your health insurance information right here to make it easier for you. And if you have any relevant letters of instructions, DNR, power of attorneys, anything like that, what I like to do is in these locations, I list, and remember, this is a fillable PDF as well, which I'll talk about in a moment, but I give you a space to write what the type of document is, the location of the original copy, and any notes that are relevant. And what I like to do is behind these pages in your folder, if you have any of these documents, put a copy of these documents right behind it. If you want to keep an original, if you have more than one original, or you don't need to keep it protected, or you would have to have the original on you, something like a DNR, the do not resuscitate orders, those you would have to have a very specific original. You need to check, those vary by state. Make sure to check what your state's requirements are as far as the color of paper it's on, what's on it. But anything like that, you might want to, like if it's a DNR, you probably want to put it in that front pocket or on that front page so that it's the first thing that they see, so they don't have to flip through to find it. But if you need the original, feel free to put one of the originals in this folder. Otherwise, if you don't need the original on you, or the original needs to be protected, just put a photocopy of the original and list where the original is. Make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. But this is where you're going to put all of that important information. So if you have a healthcare surrogate, anything like that, it's good for people to know that that document exists, have a photocopy of it so they know the information on it and where they can find the original if they need it. Now on the second page, this is where I list if you're an organ donor and what the limitations are, what your blood type is, and then your emergency contacts. You have a local emergency contact, somebody who would be able to actually physically get to your location quickly, and then a family emergency contact for more of a next of kin or somebody in the family that would be a good person to contact if they needed somebody within the family. And then other important information could be listed here. Anything else that they need to know, maybe if you have a pet in the house that needs to be taken care of, or a child that would need to be picked up from a school or something, anything specific to you, go ahead and list that information right there. I would probably write something about, you know, my daughter goes to such and such elementary school, and this is the name of the person who would be able to pick her up and care for her. And I have 4 pets in the house. This is the person who would be able to take care of them if necessary. So that's the notes section there. Then I have just a list of allergies and conditions. These are the non-life-threatening ones. You can repeat the life-threatening if you wanted to here as well, but these are the non-life-threatening ones for the most part. Feel free, you can print multiple pages of this page if you need to, if you have a lot of allergies and conditions to list. So feel free to make as many copies of this page as you would like. And then also, we included vaccine information in the most recent download. I don't know why I did not print that off. I think I missed that page when I printed it, but there's vaccine information as well. So if you have specific vaccine information to share, such as COVID vaccine, tetanus shots that you've gotten, anything like that, it's a good thing to list either there or even on the notes page. If you have the older version that like this one is, then the notes page has that there. So those are some of the main parts of the emergency folder. There's also a page for if you wanted to handwrite any of your prescription information, that's there as well. So you can enter that information and doctor information. But what I like to do for prescriptions and doctors, I really prefer not to handwrite all that information and have to update it manually. I really just grab one of these business holder pages and I just slide the business cards in to the business holder. I can write little notes on the business cards if I wanted to, but I have health insurance card, business cards for any doctors and specialists, and then I actually use, instead of listing out the prescriptions, those prescription summaries. I just slide them in each person's pocket because they have so much information right there. And that makes your grab and go. The other thing I do like to include in here is my pet's vaccination records in case of an evacuation or an emergency where they'd have to be boarded. Those records are required in a lot of shelters and most boarding places. So having those available for yourself if you had to evacuate, or if there's a caregiver for your pets who would need to be able to drop them off at boarding or something, that would be really important for them to have as well. So those are the types of things that I put inside of this emergency folder. Now, the reason I do that, and actually, let me just really quickly say, I see, welcome, welcome. I see, hey, Kaz, and you're so welcome for the fill-in sheets. Fantastic. Hey, Deb, good to see you, Deb, and Paula, and Linda, you're so welcome. Good to see you. If you have any questions as we go, please let me know in the comments. Or if you've already put together your emergency folder and have a story to share, maybe if you have the full Spark Life Binder and have a story to share, or if you enjoy it, let me know in the comments. I always love to hear it. And if you're enjoying this challenge, please like this video, give it a heart, just respond to this video somehow, because that's how I can tell how helpful these videos are. And the more you interact, the more I know that they're useful and the more I'll continue to do them. Sound fair? Yay, she loves getting the updated pages. Yes, so if you've already got the Spark Life Binder, then you're getting the update this week of the full Spark Life Binder and the update pages. And I always want you to have the most recent information. You're so welcome for adding the vaccination sheet. That's awesome. I'm glad that you added copies of the card. Yes, I absolutely recommend copying that card and putting that in there. You're so welcome, Lafayette, or Lovette, sorry. Lafayette, I can't read. Hey, Lynn, welcome, and Joanna, good to see you. Okay, so I told you that I would explain the why. Now these, as I mentioned, are all fillable PDFs. That means when you download the pages, save that download to your computer and open up the file that's saved on your computer, there are going to be spots on each of these lines where you can actually type in your information and then save that file wherever you want to. I usually save it on maybe an external USB drive or an external hard drive, something like that. So that way it's nice and safe and protected, but you're able to actually type in the information, save it, open up that file again in the future, adjust anything, print it out as many times as you want. If you don't want to type into it and print it out, that's okay. You can also handwrite it. So you can just hit print and handwrite in these fields. I tried to make sure that they were big enough that you could actually handwrite your information in them as well. And I also tend to do kind of a combination where I will print out, I'll type it in, print it out, and then as updates come in, I'll scratch things out and handwrite them. And when it starts to get messy, then I'll just pop into the file then and type in the new information and print out a fresh copy. So that's how a PDF, a fillable PDF works, is the fact that you can open it up You can type in your information and save it wherever you want to save it. It's not connected to the internet unless you put it there. So you can save that. You can then open it up again in the future, adjust anything that you typed onto it, any of those fields, and save it again. You can print it out. It just makes it so much easier to work with. And that's what I've done with this emergency folder worksheets and the Spark Life Binder, which is beyond just the medical emergencies. This is absolutely all of the most important information in your life. This binder is all fillable PDFs, just like the emergency folder where you're just answering questions. Now, the reason I like to do the worksheets is because that way it takes your brain out of the system. So a lot of the times we have these great plans. We want to put together folders like this or folders like the Spark Life Binder. I don't know how many people I've heard say that they plan to put the binder together for themselves from scratch and they just don't get around to it. And that's because our brains get in the way. A lot of times we're thinking, I'm not sure what information to include. I'm not sure the best way to organize it. How do I record the information? What if I'm missing something? So having all of these worksheets where you're simply filling in the blanks, you're basically answering questions. So you're looking at the worksheet and it says health insurance company name and you fill in the blank. You don't have to think about what information you need or where to put it. You're answering the questions one at a time. So you're taking your brain out of that process. You don't have to worry about missing any important information. You don't have to worry about where to put it. You don't even have to think about what information is important. It's already done for you. So I love to take my brain out of the system as much as possible, especially with things like papers. The other thing that I like to do is making my decisions only once. So if you're looking at, say, papers, over and over and trying to make decisions on your papers, but each time you're making that decision again, you worry about consistency. You know, what was my choice last time? Did I decide to scan it or did I decide to file it? How long did I decide to keep it? I don't remember. That kicks in and will shut you down really quickly because you're making that decision more than one time. And the other thing that happens is it slows you down. Your brain has to work so much harder. So if the decision's already made for you, if you've already decided once what information you need and you've written it down and now you're just filling in the blanks and maintaining it super easy because then you're just updating anything that's there. That way that decision's already been made for you. You don't have to worry about missing anything. You don't have to worry about what you decided in the past. It's all recorded and it makes it so much easier on your brain. And it's really our brains that get us the most stuck, isn't it? They're our worst enemies. So that is the why behind it. Just wanted to say, hey, Jill, she finally got on the live. Yay. Oh yeah, sorry, the link, the email, I sent out the email before it updated the link. So I'm so sorry. The link is up to date now. Stephanie is out this week and she's the one that helps me behind the scenes with a lot of these things. She is in England with her daughter who's going to college up in the UK for the first time, which is super exciting. And I, told her, don't worry about us, focus on having fun. But that does mean that, all the amazing things that she does, sometimes I miss a few things. So I'm sorry, I'll be better tomorrow. You're so welcome. Hey, Diana from Illinois, good to see you. And you're welcome to printouts. I find that if it's already done for me, I'm much more likely to complete something than if I have to create it myself from scratch. Karen says, is this day 2? It is day 2, yes. So day 2, Tuesday of the emergency folder challenge. Yay, glad that you can update your emergency folder. And it's perfect timing to finish your Spark Life Binder because we're sending out the update pack with the couple of sheets that you might want to add to your existing binder, or if you wanted to print out the newest version to finish your Spark Life Binder, then I've just made a lot of, I've refreshed it and made the flow a little bit better, which is awesome. So we do these sheets for each person in the household. Okay, you think that you're confused on that. When we have different people, are the pocket files just for extra information? Great question. Thank you for that question. Okay, so you have 2 choices. You can either make one of these per person for your household, but I find that's a little bit more difficult because then you have to find the right folder to grab. And if you've got first responders that might need to be able to grab it, they might not know whose is whose and it'll slow down the process. So I like to put everybody in one folder. And within the folder, what I like to do, like I mentioned, I will put the medical alert page in the front, just so that way if anybody in the family has a life-threatening condition or allergy, it's the first thing that's seen. And then it just comes with a checklist, so you can make sure that you grabbed all the most important things. But then within the folder itself, I found these awesome dividers that are also pockets. So I labeled one per person. So I've got Jeff, my moose pie, and me, Susanna. And behind that pocket is one whole set of those worksheets. So you'll just print a set of worksheets per person in your household. And then behind those worksheets is where you can put any paperwork, any copies of documents that you might need if you have any. And I also put a business card holder for all of their doctors, specialists, house cards, all of that stuff. And the way that I use the pockets, since the pockets are the dividers, so this is Jeff, everything that has to do with Jeff would go in Jeff's pocket. Everything that has to do with me would go in my pocket. I also put a picture of the person in the pocket too, so that way first responders would know who's who in the family. And then in the back, I usually add an extra pocket for things such as the pet's vaccination records, or if there are extra keys to the house, or anything that would be sort of additional evacuation stuff that you might need. So hopefully that answers. Okay, good. I'm glad that makes sense. Hey, Janelle, good to see you, and good to see you, Barb. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Jill. So Joanne, do me a favor, email me at hello@susannak.com, and I can try to help you. It sounds like it's probably going to your junk mail. So if you email me at just hello@susannak.com, then, and let me know what email address you're trying to use to download, then I can help you out. Oh, I guess I answered way too fast. You just got the sheets. That's fantastic. Perfect, perfect. All right, so if you did not already grab your sheets, remember to, they are in the Facebook group as well, that link to download those sheets, but they are only available for this week. Oops, there we go. Let me share that. So feel free to pause this video if you need to write that link down. It's probably in the description for this video also, but if not, then just pause the video and write that down. Sadly, they don't make them clickable. Also, I did want to share that this Thursday and this Saturday, we have, and I thought that I had it, there we go, the Important Papers Workshop. So the Important Papers Workshop is a free workshop. I've got Thursday night, I've got Saturday during the day, and one or two others next week. And it's the only time that I will offer it this year. The next time I offer it won't be till next year, but it's free. It's just a 1-hour workshop where I walk you through how to build your own important papers binder. So whether you want to grab the Spark Life binder or not, this workshop will walk you step by step through how to build and use your own binder. So if you wanted to grab the Spark Life binder at the end, you would be able to grab that. If you did not want to grab the Spark Life binder and you want to build your own from scratch, that's absolutely okay. That Important Papers workshop will walk you through step by step what types of information to include, how to set it up, how to keep it safe, all of that important information. So make sure to register for the Important Papers workshop before it's over. Like I mentioned, it's free. There will be a replay available. If you register, it's available for only 4 days after your registration date. So super short time period to be able to watch it. But we will walk through the Spark Life binder and how to set up your own, or how to use the Spark Life binder if you wanted to grab the Spark Life binder. But as you see, there are 9 sections within the binder, plus the emergency folder makes 10 sections for the Spark Life binder. And it covers everything: basic information, dependents, medical, end of life arrangements, finance and insurance, real estate and personal property, legal and official records, digital life, and a space for resources and notes. And it's filled with all of these fillable worksheets. So you just go through and you answer the questions. You don't have to worry about forgetting something important, what types of information you need, how to record it. It helps when you have papers coming in, you know, if they're important papers, then they go into Spark Life binder, because the Spark Life binder already tells you what papers are the important ones to keep with it. So hopefully you can join me for that important papers workshop. If you did just want to grab the Spark Life Binder, then for this week only, there is a link to just buy the Spark Life Binder directly, and I'm throwing in an emergency checklists and preparation pack. It's this sheet that tells you for each types of emergency, what types of things you need to make sure to grab or do to prepare. It's a really cool thing to add into the resources section of your Spark Life Binder. So if you do grab your Spark Life Binder this week, then you can get that emergency pack as well. And at the end of this week, that's not available, and the Spark Life Binder will be going away until sometime next year. So just a warning on that one. It's about to go away. Let's see. Good morning, Julie. Good to see you. I see Rosila says, hi, Susanna, do you grab and take the whole emergency binder to go with you if there's an emergency, even though everyone else's information's in that binder too? I do, yes, because it never hurts to bring the other people's information as well. It makes it a whole lot easier than in emergency trying to find the right folder, especially if it's not you looking through the folders, trying to figure out who's who. Because you might know which folder is which, but a first responder won't. And it's going to take them time to figure out, you know, if there's more than one person in the household, which folder goes with which person. So it's easier to just have one that's clearly tabbed out. And in an emergency, the less we have to think, the better. The more we can just grab and go is the main point. Teresa, do you know the manufacturer of your pockets? Avery, I can't find closable pockets like yours. I believe I have those pockets. If I could find them again, I remember that there was a while where I could not find them. But on my favorite things store, then I have all the supplies that I use to build the emergency folder, as well as the Spark Life Binder and various things. All of my favorite things are on there, but there's an emergency folder section. So check that out and see which pockets are the ones that I found that are either exactly like those or the closest thing to them. And that's the link. So you can do that. The other thing that you can do, if you can't find pockets that are also dividers, grab little Post-it flags, these sticky flags. And what you can do is take a regular pocket folder and then add, and these are just C-line binder pockets, but you can add, just stick it on there and put the person's name. And that way it becomes a divider pocket folder. So that's another way around, because you can't always necessarily find the actual pockets. Here, let me go. There we go. You can't always find the pockets with the divider tabs, but whenever they are in stock, I try to add them to the favorite things store. Hey. Perfect. And Carolyn, yes. So Carolyn is asking, is that emergency pack, that bonus, when you grab the Spark Life Binder, is that available for anybody who has already purchased the full Spark Life Binder? And yes, it is. This week, I'm sending out an email to everybody who's already purchased the Spark Life Binder in the past. You know, I think that there's like over 5,000 of you because this has been for, you know, I think 5 years that I've offered it publicly. But I'm sending out to everybody who's purchased the Spark Life Binder in the past any updated pages, plus you have access to the full new updated file of the core Spark Life Binder. Plus, I will be sending out that bonus of the emergency pack. So, you know, if you've already purchased the Spark Life Binder, I always want to honor our relationship and make this as amazing as possible. So I'm always going to try to keep giving you any additional bonuses that I add on after you've purchased, any updates. I always want to keep making this better and better and better for you. So great question. Watch your email. It's also going to be in your online library. So yeah, so hopefully that helps. And I wanted to share really quickly, I just got this yesterday, and she said that I could share this with you. But Brenda said this, she's talked about the Spark Life Binder. It applies to the emergency folder as well, though. She says, this will be one of the best purchases you will make this year. It will not only benefit you, but your family as well. It organizes everything that's important in one place, and it's really easy to do updates and maintain it. So that was a really cool comment that Brenda was nice enough to comment on the Spark Life Binder information. And The emergency folder is also one of the best things that you can do right now for your family and for you, but the Spark Life Binder is as well. I hear that type of feedback all the time, which is awesome. Oh, awesome. Glad. Perfect. All right, so where do you register for the emergency folder workshop? It should be in the description of this video. If not, I put it on the screen a little bit ago. I will add it back to the screen again at the end, but hopefully I think it's also got a clickable link in the video, or I mean in the description. Do you recommend that we keep a binder in our vehicles? I was involved in a serious accident. I couldn't remember my medical and personal information when the EMT was trying to take care of me. You know, actually, a lot of people do like to keep one copy in their house and one copy in their vehicle. I've heard a number of people who do that, and it's a great idea because a lot of the times it's really more likely that we could get into a car accident than have even an accident at home. So keeping one in your vehicle is fantastic. I would say make sure we're talking about keeping it safe and where to store it later this week. But I would say if you're keeping it in your vehicle, make sure not to include your social security number. Don't include your, I probably would not even include my full address, just in case your vehicle got broken into. I would not want somebody to get some of that most important information. So if it was in my vehicle, I would probably leave out some of the information and just write maybe who to contact, you know, those emergency contacts, who to contact for things like your date of birth, maybe your health insurance card, social security number, who could the EMTs contact to get that information. So that way, if your car did get broken into and somebody grabbed the folder, then they aren't going to get some of that information. It does not really matter if they find out who your doctors are or what your allergies are, but you probably would not want them to have the social security number. And that's also why you will find I did not put social security number in the emergency folder, things like that, just in case your house got broken into. If they grabbed this, then, you know, they can find out what your allergies are all day long, and it won't probably bother anybody. But making sure that they don't get absolutely all of your information is definitely something to look out for, since this is the type of thing that you aren't going to put in a safe, because if it's in a safe, it's not very useful. This is a grab and go where you would want to make it easy to just grab and run. So anything that you're not comfortable putting in here, all you need to do is, with that emergent contact information in the notes page, write down, you know, who has information. So if you're leaving any of the fields blank, write down, you know, that the emergency contact, Pat Smith, has my date of birth, social security number, and health card insurance, or something like that. So that way first responders know how to get it, but the wrong people don't get it. So great, great question. I love it. The replay is available right after this. So as soon as this is done, you can, I think there's even like a replay button right afterwards. But yeah, the replay will be available on that same link right after this. Okay, so Nancy asks, will you discuss filling in the PDF? I fill it, but it does not save with my data in there. So Nancy, I would say make sure that when you've downloaded the pages, don't fill in the information that's in your internet browser. Make sure you kind of close out that screen, find where you downloaded the file onto your computer and open that file and type into that file. Because when you first download it, and some computers, it'll show it kind of in your internet browser before you download it to your computer, or at the same time that it downloads. And if you're typing in there, it has nowhere to save it because that's not actually saved on your computer. So I would say make sure that you've closed out everything that goes with that download, and then find the file on your computer, usually in a downloads folder, and open that file and type into that one and save it. And then if you still have any problems at all, then email me at hello@susannak.com, and I would absolutely love to help you out. And you're so welcome for the information. Absolutely. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I did also want to say that I got this email a little while ago from Kat, and she said the Spark Life Binder is a treasure beyond rubies. I love her words. Treasure beyond rubies. She found the deed, and she says, I found the deed to our house in the basement in a bunch of papers piled high, which probably would have been thrown out by someone clearing out our house after our demise. Who knew it needed to be located now and put in an easily accessible notebook? And I hear that a lot too. The whole, I didn't even think about that. Yes, I do need that information. So having the emergency folder worksheets already completed for you, and you're just filling in the blanks, that way you won't forget anything that's really important. And the same concept goes for the Spark Life Binder. This way it has every single important piece of information for your life in all the various categories: medical, financial, memorabilia. Everything important is listed in here. So that way you don't have to try to remember what's important, like the deed to your house. When you see it in a worksheet, then that's going to tell you that's important. And then that will lead you to go find it and make sure that it's recorded, protected, and in the right place. So make sure to join me for that Important Papers workshop, where you can learn how to set up your own Life Binder or grab the Spark Life Binder. And remember, the Spark Life Binder, at the end of this week, you can't buy it directly. At the end of the Important Papers workshop, that's the last chance to get it for the rest of the year. It won't be back until next year, because I do like to make sure to only release it twice a year, because that way I can make sure to support anybody who has any questions or needs any extra help using it. Anybody who is not sure about the fillable PDFs, I only release it twice a year, so that way I can really focus on being there for everybody to help support them, give extra resources and encouragement, and make it as useful as possible. So make sure to grab that if you are interested, because it will be going away until next year. Now, if you have not already, let me share those links again. A lot of these are already in the description, but just in case you missed them, you might need to rewind this, pause this, however you need to do it, to write some of these down, because sadly this won't let me make a clickable link. But if you want to grab the free bonus worksheets, they're only available until this Sunday. So this is the link to grab those downloaded worksheets for the emergency folder. This is just for the emergency folder. Also this week, if you did want to grab the Spark Life Binder, you can still get an emergency pack, that emergency checklists and preparation guide, which is a big guide that tells you how to prepare for every emergency and make sure that everything that you would need would be packed up, especially if you have any special needs, kids, pets, that type of thing. But this is the link that you can use this week until Sunday to grab the Spark Life Binder with the emergency pack before it goes away until sometime next year. Then also, I mentioned the Important Papers workshop. If you wanted to learn how to build your own Life Binder and what types of information goes into it, how to use the Spark Life Binder or your own built Life Binder, how to keep it safe, all of that great information. And then at the end, you would get a chance to buy the Spark Life Binder if you wanted to take that shortcut, make it easy for yourself. Then this is a free workshop. It's packed with information. It's not a sales workshop as much as it's a super highly informational workshop. So this is free. Again, going away until next year. Once it's over, it's over. And then, as somebody asked, here's where you can still register for the emergency folder challenge. So the emergency folder challenge, you'll just get the emails each day with replays of the videos. You'll get the task for the day, additional resources to help you through. And this is where you can register. And you can only register for a couple more days. Once this challenge is over, it's not staying up in the group for very long. It's going to go away until probably next year. Most likely we'll repeat it next year because people seem to be liking it. Let me know in the comments if you're liking it and we should repeat it. But it's definitely not going to be happening again this year. And then if you missed anything with the emergency folder challenge, in the Facebook group, in the guides section, we have all the posts with the daily tasks. We have all the replays, everything, all the resources that we've shared so far. So in the Facebook group, if you go to the guides section, it won't have everything that's in the emails that you get when you register, but it'll have everything that we have shared within the group. And the basics of the tasks are over in the guide section. So that's where you can go for that. Hopefully that makes sense and that will help you out. Oh yeah, for supplies, just to say again, this is where I have my favorite things and some of my favorite things for building the Spark Life Binder and the emergency folder. And of course, You can always find me at SusannaK.com. Email me at hello@SusannaK.com if you need anything, have any questions that are not answered in the group. The Facebook group is probably the best way to get answers fast. Creating a post there, not just a comment, but if you create a post, then usually that will get the fastest response because that's where my eyes are the most. But I do check throughout the day. I try to check emails once or twice a day. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you've built your emergency folder already, or if you're updating it, or if this is your first time building it. I would absolutely love to know more about where you're at in the process, what you think about it so far. Once you download those worksheets, I also would love, love, love to hear what you think about them, because I am always trying to keep upping my game, keep making things easier and easier for you. But just remember, take your brain out of the system. When you're working with papers especially, but any type of organizing system, the more you can take your brain out of the system, make your decisions only once at the very beginning, and then just kind of follow the guidelines that you gave yourself to make it easy. It's such a huge difference, and you'll be much more successful, and things will go faster and easier for you. You are amazing. You're doing wonderful with this challenge so far. It's only day 2 and already you're rocking it. I've absolutely loved having you with me. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you do. I'll see you over in the Facebook group. Have an amazing, amazing day. Keep going one small step at a time. And as always, I absolutely love you, beautiful. Bye.